You know, today more than any time before, we Americans are looking for a way we can build a better, richer life for our families, our businesses, and personally. But you see, most of us can't find out how to outguess the Dow Jones. We don't have a master's degree from a Harvard Business School, and I don't see very many people walking around with a silver spoon hanging out of their mouths. So if very many people are going to amass a fortune, I mean a really comfortable amount of money, then there needs to be a clear, concise, easy-to-follow, proven plan. Now, you see, statistics show that most Americans do desire to be financially secure. But I've found that most people are so busy making a living that they don't have time to build a fortune. Now, maybe that's where you are today. Well, if you're really serious about achieving the American dream, this program is for you. Because my special guest has helped a lot of people all across America become self-made millionaires. And he says you can do it too. So I'm going to ask some very pointed questions of this man today and put him on the proverbial hot seat as we learn how to build a fortune in 1988.
Money and Business Network, dedicated to helping people get into businesses that can make them financially independent, proudly presents How to Build a Fortune in 1988. And now, here's our host for today's program, the man known nationwide for helping people to a richer, better lifestyle, Merrill Eichenberger.
I'm glad you're joining me here today because this is one program that you won't forget. The reason is my guest, who's nationally acclaimed, is going to answer some tough questions about your possibilities of building a fortune in 1988. And he really ought to know because he's achieved and built his own fortune with his methods. So it's not theory, but actual facts and plans that really work. So now please help me welcome Richard Powelson. Richard, thank you so much for taking the time to come and visit with us today. You know, you're quite a remarkable person, but just for the audience, tell us a little bit about your background and what Richard Powelson's really about.
Well, thanks very much, Merrill. It's nice to be here. As my name is Richard Powelson, and I hail from a town many years ago called Aurora, Illinois. My background is mostly real estate, in fact, strictly real estate, and I achieved a broker's license back in 1950 and sold many houses at that time. What makes that so unique is that at that time there was no multiple listing service. There was no computers in real estate, there was no advanced educational programs, and nobody taught people how to sell real estate or how to invest in real estate. And I became very interested in real estate and went on to become president of the Illinois Association of Realtors, was on the committee that started multiple listing service in the computer, use of computers in the real estate industry, and I soon found that I was making more money investing in real estate than I was selling it. And nobody had taught me any of this, so what I did was start using my own methods in acquiring real estate until I became financially independent and I quit selling real estate for a living.
Okay, now, your methods have been featured on such national shows as Mike Douglas' special show. You've been on Money, Money, Money with my friend Hal Morris. And still, let me ask you today, I mean, we've just recently gone through a stock market crash, so to speak, that was pretty heavy duty and a lot of other turmoil. Are you telling me that any person really still has a chance to build a fortune in real estate, even today?
Oh, more so today than 2, 3, 4 years ago. Real estate is the one way that anybody can acquire wealth. The nice thing about real estate is that anytime you need money, you just have to go buy a house. Because you can get paid $2,500 to $37,500 minimum just every single time you buy a house.
Now, wait a minute. You said you can get paid $2,500 to $37,000 for just buying a house?
Oh, yeah.
I usually had to pay when I bought a house.
No, I made $1 million buying real estate in one transaction. But no, there are so many ways that you can acquire real estate today. Without good credit, without any money, you don't need a job.
Okay. Now, this sounds like a bunch of the other television programs that I've seen, and I've been in television for quite some time, and I watch what's on TV. And I've seen an awful lot of guys stand up there and talk about this and that, and there's been articles come out saying, hey, you know, they wrote about it, but they hadn't really done it. Are we talking about theories here that you've done? Or are you talking about principles and methods that have actually worked out in the field, so to speak?
No, what I do is only teach what I have done. Now, you have to remember that I taught national seminars for 10 years for others. And at that time, I trained the instructors and trained what are called the preview speakers. And I was charged with answering all the questions that came from the various students that bought books and tapes and took two-day seminars. And out of all these questions, I would write down every single one. Of course, they're going to learn as you answer the questions. But then I found out what wasn't taught and what they didn't understand, and I went out and did it myself first. And everything I write, I have done, or a student of mine has done. It's not theory, it's an actual transaction. Every single technique that I have was done by either myself or one of my students.
Okay. Now, these methods you're talking about, they're methods that can be done by anyone without risking their life savings or any previous knowledge?
Oh, there's no risk involved whatsoever. In fact, I had a 12-year-old boy buy a house, an 80-year-old woman, an 18-year-old made $100,000 in 3 months buying real estate. Anybody can do it. As a matter of fact, you can be on welfare and do it.
In other words, credit's not a...
Credit doesn't mean a thing.
Doesn't mean a thing.
If you have good credit, there are things you can do, but you don't need good credit. And you can buy any piece of real estate out there for little or no money down. And before we get into the negative part of no money down, because what you said earlier about some of the various no money down experts on television, when I say no money down, I'm looking at a win-win situation. The seller actually gets a cash down payment or all cash. The buyer buys using none of his own money, and the realtor, if one is involved, gets a cash commission. Now, everybody wins in that particular case.
Okay. Now, when we're usually talking about this, I think a lot of people have seen that people have gone crazy and made a lot of money in Southern California. We're in Portland, Oregon here shooting this show, and the reason I'm doing that is because Portland, Oregon is pretty much known throughout the United States as probably not really booming that much as, say, Orange County or Phoenix, Arizona, the Sun Belt. Now, I sent you a multiple listing book and a newspaper. What'd you find in there? Did you find any opportunities even right here in Oregon, which is not booming?
You can find these anywhere, yes. You did send me a newspaper, and all I did was just take a few ads out of here. Local paper, here's one on contract that you can buy. Here's two under lease purchase. No money down, either one of these. No qualifying, assume the loan.
They can just walk in there. Doesn't matter what your credit is or anything.
No qualifying means that you don't need good credit. You don't need a job. Anybody watching this program can take over that loan. Here's $1,975 to $2,500 down, including the furniture.
And what price is a house, for instance, there?
You have to ask me that so I can put on my glasses to look and see what price the house was. This is $70,000 house. Here's one 1980 down, $645 a month, 4-bedroom home. $2,500 move-in, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. That type of real estate you can buy. 75 6 price, $2,500 down. And remember, I said earlier, you don't need any money to buy this. Even though you have they want a $2,500 down payment, I can show you how to get $2,500 so the seller gets it, and yet you buy for nothing down. Here's one for $750 down, $1,000 down.
These are just straight out of the newspaper.
This just came right out of the newspaper.
Out of that newspaper I sent you, so that's only a couple of weeks old.
Here's no money down, 18% return. Here's 25% return. No money down, take over payments. No qualifying. $1,000 down on a $59,000 house. Under appraisal. Here's a fourplex. You can live rent-free and collect $400 a month. These are all available. One of my students put this ad in the Wall Street Journal. Quick closing. Qualified principal seeks $25 million and no money down real estate, apartments, duplexes, homes, office, hotel, motels, all states. Brokers welcome. He ran this ad for 2 weeks. Cost $134, and he got $23 million in properties offered to him for nothing down, no qualifying, no personal liability.
He didn't have to put up anything for that.
No money down, and one of them makes $500,000 a year positive cash flow, and one of them he got back $300,000 at closing.
Now, does he have a liability on $23 million
No.
for the real estate?
No, I teach you how not to have liability. No, it's everything is done without personal qualifying and no personal liability whatsoever.
Okay. Now, I know, like you said, you've been in the seminar business for all that, but you've got your own things going and stuff like that. Why are you doing this TV show? I mean, why are you coming back and really talking about all these methods again?
Well, as you know, Merrill, I was on television for a number of years and sold books and tapes. And I've given a lot of two-day seminars, got close to 100,000 graduates just at two-day seminars. And I'm responsible for making more self-made millionaires than anybody in the real estate industry. And I've gotten away from that. I've retired from that, and I still invest in real estate. And used to pay $295 to $349 for my product on television. And I thought it would be kind of nice to give the people this information at a price that's affordable to everybody with a complete money-back guarantee and offer them the opportunities that I've had, and they can take advantage of the knowledge that I have had over the number of years.
Okay, now you're talking about then this course right here that we're showing tonight.
That's
called How to Build a Fortune in 1988. Now this is, you were telling me, I think, that this was like a two-day seminar that you used to put on.
It is a two-day seminar.
And it comes complete with a workbook manual, 6 audio cassettes, and you've even now included, I think you told me, a videotape.
A video, that's correct. Now this is an up-to-date video.
Okay.
It's a 1-hour video in which I explain some of these creative financing methods in here, plus talk about the tax laws, the changes for 1988.
This show sold nationally for $295.
That's correct.
What's your offer to viewers that are watching this evening?
The offers to the viewers that are watching this evening, if they act right now, and this is a limited offering, is only $99, and that includes shipping and handling.
$99 for this whole package?
For the whole package. There's about 150 or 60 pages in there.
Okay, now, I know that you had earlier, just before the show, handed me a sheet that some of the things that people would learn in there. I just, you know, I hadn't had a chance to really go through this, and I want to just kind of go through and ask you some of these questions. We're going to have them put up on the screen, these different titles that I'm putting across here, so they'll know what's involved in here. And then these are actual, not theories, but actual plans that work.
That's
people
correct.
can work them, and you show them how to do that. Okay. Number 1, make $5,000 a month using multiple listing service books.
You did send me a multiple listing book, too. What I used to do was just open the book and have somebody put their finger on a house. And I would show them how to buy that house for no money down. But I took out your MLS book. And I just grabbed in and ripped out a page. And on this one particular page, I found 3 properties that are listed. You have to know what to look for on these properties, and I tell you what to look for. And on these 3 properties alone, you ought to be able to make $5,000 to $10,000 a month without any risk for $100.
For $100, you could make $5,000 to $10,000 out of just those houses
I
right
used
there?
to do it for $25, but with inflation, appreciation, it may cost you $100. But you have absolutely no risk, and you don't own any real estate. So you can make $5,000 or $10,000 a month without owning real estate. You don't have to own real estate to make money.
Boy, that's phenomenal. Okay, let me go through the rest of these. How to sell your real estate always at a profit. Sources of down payment when you have no money?
That's correct. You don't need money. I give you 9 or 10 sources of down payments.
Right. How to get paid when you buy. You talked about that. How to become a millionaire in 10 years. Now, I mean, is this just in theory? This can really happen. People are doing this?
Oh, yes. That's not a problem at all. You can buy 10 single-family homes for no money down and become a millionaire in 10 years. You can also retire in 10 years on $5,000 a month income, minimum, on 10 single-family homes, buying now for nothing down.
Now, is this going to take a lot of time for people to do this, or is this something that they can do while they've got their regular job?
Oh, no, this is a very simple procedure. In fact, I have tapes telling everybody exactly how to do it. And one thing that I do have, I have a catalog of the tapes on the back.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Which makes it very, very nice, because if you run into a technique or something in the book that you'd like to hear me talk about, all you have to do is go back here and see what tape it's on. Tape 8, side B, that type of thing. Anybody can do it.
Okay. All right, let's keep going then. How to eliminate down payment. Here's one I like. Eliminate closing costs. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting ripped off on closing costs.